And the impact that we're feeling is not going to be felt by the people that we're allowing to make us feel this way. So, I just think it's kind of crazy, and we really need to talk about it. So we're going to go to a quick song break. When we come back, we are jumping right into this naked discussion when politics trump your relationship. Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio, Dr. Intimacy TK and J Revival.
All right, y'all. So normally I'm doing my thing, One Kingdom Radio. So now instead of hosting y'all, I'm just hanging out with Dr. Intimacy.
Hey.
She comes on right after us, so y'all tune in. Yo, we're talking about love trumps politics. Is that right?
No, when politics trump your relationship.
Okay, that's even better. So I'm sorry I even messed that up. Yo, we gonna get it in today. Yo, she has an awesome show talking about love and politics and relationships and everything like that. And so, yo, you gotta tune in. Check out what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm telling what? And we're gonna get it in.
Naked discussions about love, life, and intimacy. Hashtag no socks. We completely naked on Inspired Intimacy. It's going down.
She said naked.
No socks. No sheets. Lights on.
That's what's up. We're gonna get it in. I love it. I love it. All right. So I'm gonna be right back.
Are your mic levels okay?
I think everything good. Steve Cosmo, what it do, baby? What it do? I ain't talking to you forever.
Hey, Facebook Live.
And yo, you know what?
You guys are there already.
If y'all even hear me, right, y'all should call in 214-431-5062 and tell us what you think. Hector, what it do, baby? I see you down there. Call in and tell us what you think. Y'all know me. I got some things to say about this. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. Yeah, I'm ready to get this one in.
What did you guys talk about on your show?
We had 2 guests today, so
we can't see you.
Oh yeah. So we had 2 guests today.
This is my guest, TK, One Kingdom Radio.
Yo, what it do?
This show comes on from 7 to 9 right here in the Blue Bowl, right before Inspired Intimacy on Wednesday night. So you guys got to check them out. Hot show. What do you guys do?
We talk about daily issues from a biblical view, and we play the best of Christian rap and urban gospel.
And they play some hot music. Hot. And you guys have a show on Monday, right?
We're on Wednesdays from 7 to 9. We're on Thursday with a new show, Spiritual Ciphers, all Christian hip hop, and spirit rap, freestyles, and everything like that. Then we got Operation Motivation on Friday from 7 to 9 and Saturday from 1 to 3. And then the real OGs, the Ordinary Gentlemen, Extraordinary Faith from 5 to 7.
Wow, that was way too much. Just give me your website.
We're taking over.
We have to take notes on that.
We're taking over. We're coming back.
Okay. All right, so we're about to go live again. We were on a little song break. Stay tuned in. Call 214-431-5062. Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Intimacy. We are back from one of my favorite songs, Get Up by Mary Mary. I know it's old, but I still love that song. It gets you motivated, gets you pumped, you know. And we're going to need some nice, pumped, motivated, happy music tonight because we're going to be talking about something really, really deep. So you're listening to Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio, where we're having naked discussions about love, life, and intimacy. Hashtag no socks. Got my co-producer J Revival in the house and my special guest TK of One Kingdom Radio. The topic tonight: when politics trump your relationship.
I love that title. I love that.
Thank you. And so you said, you know what? You are a host, so I know you know how to get down in the studio. You said you were really excited about this today, and you had a lot to say. So why don't you just tell me why you were so passionate about discussing this?
Well, I know a lot of times. Okay, I'll tell you a short little story. So I had a friend like once, and this is like when Obama had won his second term.
Okay.
Right. So I had a friend of mine, and we were hanging out, and we went to go watch like the election together and everything like that. And so when Obama won, she jumped up and went, "The country going to heck in the handbasket." And, or no, she actually said, "The country going to hell in the handbasket." And so she stormed out, and we were supposed to go to dinner afterwards, and she did, and I didn't talk to her for 4 years.
What?
And so like the next day, I thought she was like joking, right? Because she was so mad. But I said, "Hey, I said, so seriously, you're not going to talk to me because Obama in office? And so she was like, no. And then like I hadn't talked to her for 4 years. So people take their politics so serious that, you know, they break up friendships and that kind of thing. So I just thought, like, you know, in a relationship setting, you know, that's something you really got to think about.
So you still haven't spoken to her to this day?
No. And everybody else we still talk to.
How long had you two been friends?
I mean, we've been cool probably maybe a couple years, and I knew she was kind of like throwed, but I just had never been on receiving end of it.
Right.
So when I finally saw when she hit it with me, I was like, really? Like you're not because Obama in office, right? And so now Trump's in office, and like I said, and I didn't vote for him. You know, I'll be honest about that. But I have friends who I know are racist because they voted for him, but we're still good.
You said they are or aren't racist?
They aren't.
They aren't, okay.
They aren't racist. Now, I'm pretty sure some of them are. I'm not going to get into
so
that.
are your friends or just some of the people?
I mean, they could be.
Okay.
You know, but I'm not saying, but the ones that I know for a fact, they probably aren't because of particular reasons why you voted for them. I'm just saying in general. But we're still able to have a relationship because, hey, you know, who I voted for didn't win, who they voted for did. And so you got to learn how to, like, okay, you move forward from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was definitely an important topic for me because I was personally impacted by that as well with this election. My closest and best friend did not speak to me following the election. I mean, like from that day when he knew who I had voted for.
Right.
He already didn't want to speak to me that day. And I'm like, well, you know, I mean, I'm like you. I kind of was like, well, it's not that big of a deal, you know.
Yeah, like, I mean, we lost, so
whatever.
what? It happens. It's politics.
Right, and then, but then next thing you know, next day, not answering the phone. I'm like, well, what's up?
Well, that's how my friend did. I'm like, seriously, like, I called her for like 2 days in a row. I'm like, you really not gonna talk to me? And like, we weren't even dating. We were just watching the debate together, right? Like, I went to go vote. We met at the little the Palomar Hotel, right? The little bar they have in there. The other people that watching the debates, and she like went ham.
So was there a lot of strife when you were watching the debate? So she was Republican.
Well,
she wanted.
Oh no, yeah, she's like diehard Republican. She grew up that way and that kind of thing. And like I said, and I vote as an independent. Like, I mean, I literally have to know what you stand for. Like, I mean, so think about it. I got to be mindful like business because I'm an entrepreneur. I got to be mindful like, you know, do I care for other people and, you know, how that's affected. So for me, it's not just a traditional like, let me vote Democrat, let me vote Republican. You know what I'm saying? I have to vote what's in my best interest for those who I'm close to. Or at least if I just care about people. And I said, well, I can take the hit here because I know it'll help other people. I have to be mindful to be that kind of, you know, walk that type, be in the middle. So, but does that make sense?
Right. No, I mean, I'm the exact same way. I'm neither Republican nor a Democrat. I'm kingdom. Like I don't even really vote on issues. It's a very spiritual thing for me. I really have to be plugged into how the Holy Spirit of God is leading me, and that's how I vote. And it can be different every year. I mean, well, we don't vote for a president every year, but you know, every election it can be different. I can bounce back and forth between a Republican and a Democratic candidate based on what I believe he's telling me about who he wants in office, because I firmly believe that no matter what the issues are, nor what the people want, at the end of the day, nobody can rise to the office of the presidency without God's approval. No matter what. No matter what the votes say, no matter what the Electoral College says.
Hey, I'm about to look. Jesus said, give Caesar what Caesar's and give what's God's. So, you know, I deal with it accordingly. Like, you know, if certain people, so it's like this. In that type of position, there's decisions you have to make that I feel like personally aren't really probably biblical that you need to make. And so that's why those people are there. Like Jesus told a story about and I'm gonna shorten it, a little short story about in Luke about the wise businessman, the shrewd businessman, and the shrewd manager. And so, you know, at the end of the story, he tells, the first part he talks about the guy, he was like, he's shorting some deals to kind of close himself out. But at the end of it, he was saying that there's people of this world who just strive better than people of the sun. So you can't get caught up with people of the earth who, that's their realm, that's what they do. So you can't really put too much into that, because you have to do your kingdom business.
Right.
You know,
right.
despite who's in office, I still got to be the type of person who wants to, like, you know, help my community, serve people, and that kind of thing. So regardless at the above level how the government floats, I got to worry about my day to day.
Right, right. I agree 100%. And you know, at the end of the day, when it comes down to politics, we've never, as far as I know of, have had any president in office that upholds real kingdom biblical principles, or not even anybody who ran, you know? So, like you said, that is Caesar's institution.
And let Caesar do what Caesar do.
So, yeah, you just kind of got to be tuned in to what God is saying that he wants to happen next, is, you know, how I see it. So, so if that be the case, then, you know, if this is really either a Caesar thing, whether we just give it all to Caesar and say, hey, politics is politics, or we make it all kingdom and say God decides the president. Either way, how can that in and of itself have such a profound impact on people's personal relationships? Because I know of stories where there were splits in churches over this.
Right.
There were splits in friendships. There were broken engagements. I mean, this thing ran so deep, and people got so hot about their different views over the election, when, according to what you and I are saying, this is either all kingdom or it's all Caesar, but it's definitely non-personal.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like, I think some of it is, when you lose at that level, you have to admit that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. If you voted for, like, say, if you voted for Hillary, or let's say what, like, more people passionate, I think, probably voted for Bernie Sanders. Most people that I know, right? And so when he didn't win, you know, they had to just be like, well, you know, I know he's the right guy, but it makes me wrong he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? So admitting that you're wrong, you know, that it takes a lot of somebody to do that at that level. I think it's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And then think about it. And if it doesn't work out, let's say Trump is as worse as we think he can be. It's people who voted for that. Then I got to go back and say, well, yeah, I backed this guy. Now, how does that make my decision in my life look like? You know what I'm saying? So that's something you really, I mean, and that's why I think people take it so personally.
So you think it's part of a competitive nature?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you don't really, when I make the reference about Caesar versus, like, you know, king, you know, what Caesar was God is God. If you don't really understand what is God's and what is Caesar's, you'll cross that. You won't be hot or cold. You'll be lukewarm. And so then you're making these bad decisions, and they reflect you. So you're making manly decisions, worldly decisions, versus making a godly decision. That's my opinion. That's what I think.
Well, that's that's really a lot to fight off when you think of the next day. Nobody wants to win. I do a lot of it can be spiritual. It's almost like a regional stronghold that kind of overtakes the nation. Right. When the debates begin. We all get caught up in the spirit of the debate. I mean, how many times during last year have you been with a group of friends and our debates were better than the actual ones that were televised? You know, it's like,
always.
It's like,
I mean, and then look, you got to deal with, like, okay, the whole right and wrong thing, right? So think about it from, like, you know, your morals and how you grew up, right? You know, we had this generation of kids, like, nobody's, like, they can't lose. Everybody's win. Life don't work like that. In the Bible, life doesn't work like that. It isn't always fair. Favor's never fair, right? So now you got these kids, like, you got kids protesting for what that Trump won. He's in there now. So we got to pray now even more that whatever he is, he going to be what God need him to be for everybody else. That's all you can do. And then you're going to break up friendships, like long-lasting friendships because of that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I would think about it, if I'm your rock, right? Let's say I was your rock, and then all of a sudden you mad at me because Trump won. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, so you know, I'm not knocking people voted for him. I'm saying, but let's say I was always being your rock from a spiritual standpoint. Now, because of a political reason, you walk away from that rock that God helped me be there for you, the spiritual rock, and now now where you gonna be at? And that's why you can't put your faith in man. You got to put it in God.
Right, right. And I think, it's really good to have diversity amongst views and opinions when you have relationships, because somebody else's diverse view can actually help broaden your understanding of life, of people. So even if I'm friends with somebody that supported the candidate that I was against, hearing their viewpoint on it and their perspective helps me understand more how that whole group of people is thinking, number one, and number two, how to direct my prayers. It's like, I'm not taking it personally that you don't feel the way I feel or believe what I believe. And I think when it comes down to it, part of why we allow things like that, and it's not just politics, people can get real hot over sports as well. Sports teams, arguments arise over that. What's the best college?
Now that the boys are winning, don't be trying to like them now. We were 4-1. We went 4-12 last year. Y'all was talking that trash, but now we number one.
Don't even go there. But
also, you a Giants fans, right?
I love the Cowboys though.
Okay,
but they come after the Giants. So.
You can't have that Fairweather stuff. That's how
it's not fair.
You got to be hot or cold.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Dr. Intimacy got a room in her heart for everybody.
I love everybody.
Right, exactly.
You still got to be hot or cold. That's all I'm saying. Not playing.
But people get into heated debates and strife over sororities, over fraternities, over churches, over denominations, I mean, we get into a lot of heated debates about disagreement, period. Paul calls it in the Bible, he calls it strife, he calls it dissension. And I think at the end of the day, it really has to do with pride. It really is a lot of pride. It's a lot of arrogance. It is a lack of compassion, because I'm going to take my situation, just gleaning from that a little bit. I felt that I really felt sad, and again, now I tell you, I vote from a spiritual. It's like strictly kingdom for me, so I'm trying to tap into the heartbeat of the kingdom when I vote. Not that I'm wrong or right, but that's just my perspective of it. So I felt, especially those close to me, if they were supporting the other candidate for other reasons, it made me a little sad, because kingdom is so important. It's like, don't you see, what's happening to the church? Can't you see what's happening to the church? All that did was make me want to pray for my friend. It didn't make me angry. It was just like, Lord, open up their eyes. So it really stirred up my compassion and my intercession for people that I know that are in the body of Christ that don't see as clearly as they need to see. And so, I just feel that when we handle disagreement from compassion, the Bible says that we ought to bear one another's burdens in love, and that if we see our brother in a fault, that we should restore such a one in love. And so I just feel that all of this strife and contention, that's a lot of pride.
Well, I mean, look at it like this. Paul was in a situation where he was invited to dinner one time, right? So he's at dinner, and somebody kind of slid over to him and was like, hey, the guy who invited him was like a sinner, right? Wasn't a believer, and he's at dinner with him, and Jesus taught them like, hey, listen, despite that, you still got to go in, because you could be an influence or an example, right? So he's sitting there, and somebody slides over, hey, well, they didn't bless that meat. It's not, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't kosher, whatever, right? And he could look at him like, well, I'm already said that. So, I prayed over my food, my faith restores, so I have to be concerned there. So you got so many people putting like their attitude, not understanding like the bigger picture, and so when you think about like your political views, right? Mm-hmm. All right, hey, I voted for Trump, or I voted for Hillary, whatever. I mean, think about it. People have such a disdain and hate in their heart for like Hillary. I'm not saying like obviously I don't think, she had her, just as a black person, I'm like, there's things she did that like affect my community that I'm like, I have problems with. But if you look at like from a Trump standpoint, it's like there's a lot of things you don't openly address. So I have issues with that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hate Hillary. I don't hate Trump. I may dislike them. And hate takes over your heart. It blinds you to a lot of stuff. And that's why God stressed about love being like the biggest commandment. You know what I'm saying? Because if you harden your heart, it's think about certain people harden their heart in your life that are close to you. So on a political level, that's just like I said, my friend walked away from me. You know, and I have no animosity towards her or anybody who, you know, voted for Trump or anything like that. It's just, think about it though. Yo, the day everybody hearts harden, I mean, the world is like on that path where God's talking about like the come of the days.
Right, right. And, you know, and I posted a lot about it in the days following the elections. I was really very proactive on Facebook, just dealing with the bitterness and the venom between people and in our nation. And one of the things that I said in my post is that when, you know, you allow hatred to enter into you, that's what you become.
Yes.
Bitterness is a nature.
Right.
Unforgiveness is a nature. Hatred is a nature.
Right.
You know, callousness is a nature. Intimacy is a nature.
Right.
Love is a nature. Joy is a nature. And, you know, something really, really powerful that Mike Murdoch said, he's one of my mentors. I was listening to him on the way over here. And he said, as soon as you allow yourself to stop caring about anybody, you will eventually stop caring about everybody.
That's very true.
And I was like, wow, that is so deep. Because it's a nature that overtakes you. You can't hate one person and then just and just restrict hatred to that little hardened portion of your heart. It's like putting a drop of dye in water.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can prevent that dye from dispersing throughout that entire container of water.
Right.
You cannot restrict it. You can't contain it to a certain area. It changes the color of that entire container of water. And that's what hatred does. That's what bitterness does. That's what strife does. That's what disagreement does. It changes the color of your heart.
I mean, that's a good analogy. Because, I mean, think about it. Even if you put like a finite drop of water in it, and it, you know, it dissipates where it's like really, really looks like it's clear, the hate's still there.
That's right.
And it's no good. It's a no good batch of water now. And you don't want to be in a place where you're like no good anymore. I mean, that's
so powerful. And then going back to that water and the dye, so you said it almost looks clear, but if you take a pure white garment and you dip it in that contaminated water that looks like it might be clear, you'll see the pigment on that. Against the pure white, you will see the pigment of hate.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't. So I mean, that's a place. I mean, hate gets so bad to where it's like, you think about it, you ever been so angry like you couldn't see? You know, think about it, and you like black out. I mean, I can't, and I've been that pissed off before in my earlier days. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just a place I don't want to be. I mean, like, you think about it, you look within yourself and go, how can I treat somebody like that? Because I would never want anybody to treat me like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just to have that type of hate, and then, you know, we talk about relationships. You know, whether you're like dating somebody who had different political views, or like, you know, what if your dad or your mom had different political views, right? And you said, you know what? From my homework and I'm reading it, that's not what it is. I need to be over here, and they disagree with that.
Right. With me, you know, I made a conscious decision because I knew I was like the black sheep of my family.
Right.
I was the only one going in that direction. Okay, I made a conscious, constructive decision for the sake of my relationship with my family,
right,
and to preserve our intimacy, to not discuss it. I mean, I just made a decision not to discuss it because at the end of the day, it's not important. There was nothing that they were going to say that was going to change what I believe God had said to me. And I didn't think there was anything that I was going to say to change what they believed in their hearts they needed to do.
Right.
So why even get into the debate? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about when Pontius Pilate had Christ hemmed up, right? And all the Pharisees and everybody was like, oh, well, you know, we trying to sin, and he doing all this, and he's speaking like this. He said, this man ain't really done anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? He ain't done anything wrong. And then when he said, do you claim to be the king? Right? He was like, who do you think I am? You see what I'm saying? So you had these situations where people put you in a situation where you have to choose. You know, how about Jesus warned everybody, like, hey, to walk with me, you got to walk away from people. You might walk away from your mom, your dad, a brother, sister, child. And if you ain't ready to do that, don't follow me. Now, that's something a lot of people don't really talk about in church, but I read that in scripture, like in the Bible. I mean, he warns people before they walk with him. You know what I'm saying? Or what you about to go through, who you got to walk away from, people that you love. And it's no different as a political thing. You know what I'm saying? People will walk away from people they love from a misunderstanding. And if you're not really, you know, it always goes to show how much do you really love the other person, and you can just casually walk away from them like that too.
Right, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say that after I was thinking about it and evaluating everything, I came to the conclusion that there are a number of different reasons why politics might trump your relationship. But one of the main ones I think are foundational issues with the relationship. There's no way that a healthy relationship could be destroyed over political differences. So there had to be some foundational issues with that relationship to begin with. And it's just like our country. I mean, we can use our country as a perfect example. This protesting and violence and bitterness and venom and hatred and racism that's going on in our country, it was not created over this election, over the results.
That's not.
It wasn't created over it even when the election started. I mean, this is long-standing racism and hatred that runs through the fiber of our country. And so we have to look at our personal relationships the same way, whether it's sports or politics or denominations or, any of the other things we talked about earlier that could come between you and a person. There's some other foundational issue there with your relationship.
Think about it. It shouldn't be that easy to walk away from people. Yeah. You remember the movie Heat? Y'all remember that with Al Pacino?
I didn't see that.
Okay. Greatest movie ever. Anyway,
Okay,
there was a scene in there where Al Pacino, not Al Pacino, it was what's the other one? Not Al Pacino and De Niro, right? And he had a statement saying that if I can walk away from anything in 30 seconds or less, it's not worth it. Woo. So when they used to make decisions before they did anything, they would be like, if I can't walk away in 30 seconds, it's not important. And in the movie, he had this woman that he finally got close to, and he had to walk away. Like, he had to make a decision, like, to walk away. He didn't want to, but he did. So it just puts in perspective, like, how much does somebody really mean to you if you could just casually walk away from them like that over something as simple as, you're not going to meet Donald Trump tomorrow.
Right.
You're not going to meet Hillary, regardless whoever would have won.
Even if you did.
Even if you did. So what? They're going to go back and hop on their jets, fly around the country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when people say, I like a guy I can have a beer with, you're never going to have a beer with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Why would you say something like that? I never understood that. I don't need to like you. I need you to make sure that, hey, as a business owner, my taxes are straight. I ain't paying too many taxes. Or if I take the hit and pay more taxes, the people who can't afford to take care of themselves, they can get the help when they need the help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that delusion people be living. That's all that is.
Yeah, that's true. Hillary stands for women. She's a friend of women's rights. She's not your friend.
Yeah, she ain't my friend.
It's not like she's going to hang out with you on girls' night.
That's what I'm saying. I never understand that.
Wow, that's deep. That is so deep. And and some of these the foundational issues may be with the relationship. It could be some underlying issues that haven't been resolved from the past.
Right.
It could be something that person doesn't like about your character that they've never really addressed. They might think that you're prideful or that you're a little pushy.
I think it's a lot of that, because I heard this. Maya Angelou had a poem. She said, like, people show you who they are in the beginning. A lot of people choose not to see it, because I was like, if I'm in love with you and I like you a lot, well, she can't do that. Okay, that'll stop. Oh, I can overlook that. But they do it enough, and then you know it irks you, and you never address it. Whether you walk away from it or not, but you never address it. I mean, you can't. You're not going to win in that. You just can't.
Right. And what ends up happening that is those issues are suppressed. And it's something like this that brings it all to the surface.
Oh yeah, you're going ham. Going ham.
So next thing you know, you guys are just screaming, throwing stuff over a debate. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
When do we lose sight of what the real goal was?
Right. But maybe you never had sight of it. Maybe you never had a good grip on it. Now I'm thinking about football. That just made me think about football. And how sometimes it's hard to determine whether or not it was really a catch. Did you ever really have control of the ball?
Right.
And so, I'm thinking about that in terms of relationships right now. Did you ever really have control of the relationship? Let me take this call. Hi, caller. You're live on the air with Dr. Intimacy and TK. You ready to join our naked discussion?
I'm always ready. You know that.
The bench warmer from 411 Sports Talk Radio. What's going on?
What's happening? I want to just chime in on y'all's discussion about trumping the relationships of politics.
Okay, well, join the discussion. What do you have to say?
Oh, I want to talk about why your vote counts. Because I don't know if a lot of people know why your vote counts.
Okay, and that's something that has come up a lot. I think there was a lot of frustration. Part of why this impacted people's relationships is because there was a lot of frustration because they felt insignificant. And so I think that's something important to address. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, the real reason why your vote counts is not necessarily the presidential race, although that's important, but your vote really counts in the local elections. Now, in my previous life, we got like several different lives. So in my previous life, one of the things I did was I helped people get elected. You know, for congressmen, for city council members, for mayors. And one of my responsibilities was to find out who voted within those political elections. And we target those people that voted. So because we target those people that voted, those that didn't vote, we didn't target them because that didn't mean anything. So we would go and target those that voted, and we would tell them our message. You know, the mayors, and it's on the Democratic side and the Republican side. That's all everybody does is target those that voted, and because they voted, we're going to target you. Now, here's where it affects you as an individual who voted. Even if your party didn't win, when you want to get something done in your city, on your street, at your front door, if you don't vote, they don't listen to you. Those local, because it's all about local elections. It's all about your council members. It's all about your mayors. It's all about your judges. It's all about those that you elect locally who can affect your life personally.
Okay.
If you don't vote, then who cares about you? But if you do vote, they're going to listen to you. So you that don't vote wants to march on the street saying that we got police brutality, it don't mean anything. But put a man in front of that in an audience that has voted, it's going to mean everything to that next elected official because his vote deals with the elected official's salary.
Oh, okay. Now,
So,
I wasn't aware of that.
Because everybody's paid.
And I think
you become an elected official, you're going to get paid.
And kind of piggyback what he's saying, some people, I think they think it's about voting people in, but when you collectively put your vote together at a local level, it's sometimes about getting people out. And I think that's what people miss. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. If, like he said, if you have enough people if there's a guy there who does I don't care if you're black or white, Hispanic, whatever. If there's somebody there who you need them to do something for you and they're not doing it, then you pull together and you vote to get them out of there. Then you pray that hopefully the next person would, do what you ask them to do and you figure out how to hold them accountable. But that's why sometimes it's about sometimes getting people out. I don't think people really understand that well.
Yeah, you can't. You can. We've gone to as far as to when I did a couple of mayor elections in the city of Dallas. Actually, about 3 of them I was a part of, and we've gone as far as to looking at the people that would come to you. We actually look at your voting record. There's a book in a county, in Democratic counties, the Republican counties. There's a book that you can get that tells you everybody who votes. I used to get that book all the time. When elections come around, I used to get that book. And my responsibility was to look at that book and dissect it as to where we need to send our message. We had one election, and now let me give you this caveat. I've been doing it since '96 as far as being a part of elections. I was the first black, actually, Dr. Smith, you don't know this, I was actually the first black elected official for the Uplift YMCA.
Okay.
And this was in '96 when there were no black elected officials for the Uplift YMCA as far as the chairman of the board. So I've been doing this for that long. But we would go and we would look at those and we say we target those people that voted, and we can take one street that voted, and we would target that street. The next street may not have voted, we would skip right over that street.
Wow. Wow.
We wouldn't even deal with that street because that street means nothing to us.
Hmm.
Now, how does this affect that the local man who did or did not vote? Let's say you have potholes on your street or problems on your street that you need to get fixed. And the only way you're going to get them fixed is going through the city council. Okay? If your street voted and you're part of that voting street, they'll look at your voting record, and they'll say, okay, you know, this is the guy that votes. This is the street that votes. This is the area that votes. So when they call in and say, hey, we need to get these potholes fixed, we need to take action. Because if we don't take action, we're not living up to what we said we're going to do. So the street that votes, they'll take action on that street. You get the street right next to them that does not vote, has the same complaints, and that street will never get fixed. Because who cares about that street? And if you look at the way our city is sectioned off, the city of Dallas, those that vote, they get things taken care of. You know, those that don't vote don't get things taken care of. You can look at you can look at the potholes as far as the city. The city has potholes in it, and I'm not talking about street potholes. I'm talking about city potholes. I'm talking about dilapidated houses. I'm talking about things that will affect, will downgrade the living of the city.
Wow.
And those are the places that do not vote. Those are the places. I'm sorry?
That explains a lot. I've actually been in neighborhoods where one street is all towed up and then the next street, you know, gets paved once a year. And it's like, you know, what is that? But I thank you for sharing that message. It was a little bit, you know, sidetracked from our topic, but nonetheless, I was about to say nonetheless important. It really is important. And I think people understanding that their voice has significance, even if your candidate doesn't win, it doesn't mean that you lost or that your voice doesn't count. And so I think that is very, very important what you said, and to share that with us and to bring it to our awareness, because even if we think about the protests that are going on right now and the, you know, the supposedly hundreds of thousands that are out there protesting, I think the media is exaggerating that, but supposedly the hundreds of thousands that are out there protesting, well, you know what, those are nameless faces that not only will they be forgotten tomorrow, they're not even known right now. Nobody knows that you're there. They don't know where you live. They don't care about you unless you end up shot or in jail or something.
Well, you know what? Okay, so you know how like a lot of people didn't want to vote because they're like, okay, I'm just not voting for Trump, and I won't vote for Hillary because I hate her for whatever reason, so they just didn't vote. Or you had people say, you know what, I was all Sanders in, so I'm not gonna vote for Hillary, and they don't vote. But they'll probably be the same people out here protesting. So when your voice would have mattered, because people don't hear protests. I don't think people really get that. Like this is on my personal opinion. I think people recognize it as a first stage, as an agitation, but you got to get behind the scenes and make stuff happen and pull together. Because like all the stuff that we don't like, all the crookedness, all of that stuff, that's all the secret. When stuff, and then you want to, hey, like eminent domain type of stuff be happening to you, like you said, voting and stuff like that. It's because you're not on the back scene trying to figure out how stuff works. Like the minute Trump went into office, when he started running, and he got to that race where he was doing all the backlash for all the candidates, right? Let me make sure I go read the Constitution. Let me go make sure I understand how my local. I mean, I don't know how general my local government works, but let me make sure I understand the Constitution. Because let's say I'm scared like everybody else from not understanding. Let me know what I'm actually need to be scared about. You know what I'm saying? Democrats ain't trying to take your guns. Read the laws. They ain't trying to take your guns. They probably preferring you, stuff like that. But it's stuff like that. When you don't know, you get scared. It's like knowing God. When you don't understand how God operates or try to learn the way how He operates, you're fearful of everything. You don't have the faith you're supposed to have.
And that may be part of why politics trumps relationships. It could be that fear coming out. Thank you so much, Benchwoman, for calling in. I love you. I'll be tuning into your show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. right here in the Blue Bowl, 411 Sports Talk Radio. Thank you, hon.
Oh, I would sit and listen.
Yeah, continue to listen, please.
No, I got to listen to. I'll listen to. I'll pull it up on my Facebook and listen to you.
Is it sad?
Yes.
All right.
What's up, brother?
All right.
It's warmer. But I think that really plays into when you bring up the fear. You're bringing up such great points, because I remember with me and my friend, he was very, very fearful about Trump being in office,
right,
because of his some of the statements that he made about war.
Right.
So he was real fearful that Trump may start a war. I mean, he was very, very concerned about it. He was very passionate about that. And so I think, what you just said is really important, that fear can play into why we feel so passionate about our political views, because we are afraid of what may happen if this person makes it into office. A lot of people were afraid of a backlash of racism if Trump won. Some people were afraid of pastors being arrested if Hillary won. People were afraid of different things, and I think those fears play out in our personal relationships, because it doesn't play out on a governmental level. We don't get to go tell them that we're afraid.
Right.
We get to tell each other. And when it's a friendship, there is an expectation, and it shouldn't there shouldn't be. I have this whole thing about expectations, but there is an expectation that your friend is going to understand your fears, is going to comfort your fears, that your friend is going to be one of the peaceful places in your life, one of your safe places. So if that candidate that you oppose represents one of your fears, and your friend is for that candidate, it's almost like you associate your friend with that fear. It's like a betrayal almost.
I mean, that could be like, you don't either know your friend, you definitely don't know your candidate. I'll give you that. But you might not really know your friend. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
I tell people this all the time, like, we claim we know everybody, but at the end of the day, you only know what people reveal to you. And I don't care if it's in a relationship, I don't care if it's in a marriage, you only know what somebody reveals to you. That's why, think about it. You said earlier about, like, past relationships and how they affect current ones, right? So let's say you have a history, like people always cheating on you. I'll give you an example, like brothers, right, guys. I'm saying brothers, just men in general, right? Sometimes we latch on our women, and not to say you shouldn't claim your woman in certain circumstances, but think about it. You don't let your woman do certain stuff from a fear of things how you used to be and how you treated women, and you don't want your woman to be the same way as the woman you treated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now your insecurities coming out. Now understand, listen, she's never like, if you really understood your woman, she's not like that. She's not gonna do that to you. But your fear of you not really understanding her makes you do things outside your normal behavior. So you got that too.
Right. That's true. So, and we're dealing a lot with these foundational issues.
Right.
And the foundational issues sometimes are with the relationship itself. Right. Things that haven't been resolved, past arguments, all kinds of things that haven't been resolved. But sometimes they're personal foundational issues. Your upbringing, things that have happened to you, old wounds,
All kinds of factors.
Yeah, all kinds of factors. But there's just some foundational issue that is being played out through this political debate.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, the fact that, you got people protesting, I mean, you got people, okay, think about, like, you got, like, the job thing, right? You got, Trump's going to bring jobs. The government can't bring you jobs. I mean, if you do your homework, like, some jobs ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? You got people really fearful about, not being able to take care of their families, and I get that, right? But some jobs just ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? And you know how people, like, okay, I just recently read, like, Trump had put out, like, his tax plan, right? It's a lot of people finna get screwed over because of the tax plan. So all these people voted for him, like, oh, well, you know what? He's going to help us out. Read what his stance is before you sit back how he's going to help you out. You assume he's going to help you because he sounds good. You know what I'm saying? You assume, and this ain't me bashing Trump. I'm saying anybody, it could have been Hillary there. If you don't really know what they stand on, that fear comes out again, and like I said, it's going to affect your relationship. Let me think about, as a man, right? Let's say you have certain fears, like, take care of your household, take care of your family. that'll affect how you treat your wife sometimes. That might affect how you treat your children sometimes.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's true.
Think about how many people are broken up due to, fear within themselves. They weren't either sure they could share with the other person. You know what I'm saying? And it just breaks everything up. And then you back to the whole, well, I think if he's in office, you'll be able to get a job and and everything will be all right. But if you don't understand how stuff works, he's not going to get you a job. You know what I'm saying? You may have to get out your comfort zone and learn something new. You know what I'm saying? So you can make men and be close to the ones who really mean something to you. Because like I said, it shouldn't be that easy to walk away from people.
So that brings up another reason that I think politics end up trumping relationships, and it's a conflict of fundamental beliefs. Okay? There's a conflict of your fundamental core beliefs, and you just brought that out. So as a man who is a provider, your primary concern might be what you perceive Trump would provide for you as somebody who has to work, whether that was in the form of a job or a tax cut or whatever.
Right.
So that's what you honed in on. As a woman that has young children, as a mother, your primary concern may have been the kind of world that your children are going to grow up in. Like for me, that was one of the main things that I thought about. I have 7 children. 6 of them are still in school.
Right.
So I think about the kind of world, the kind of America that my children are going to grow up in as Christian children.
Right.
Will they be allowed to pray at school? I don't like the fact that somebody's going to tell my daughter that she can go to an abortion clinic and get an abortion, and she doesn't have to tell me, and the doctor can't even tell me that she's pregnant, that they can be vaccinated for an STD, a sexually transmitted disease, and I never know. So I have to think about the kind of world that my children are growing up in. I don't want somebody telling me that a grown man that thinks he's a woman can go pee-pee with my 8-year-old daughter in a public restroom. These are big concerns for me because I have children. So, but as a man whose children are grown and out of the house, and he's thinking about his retirement, his main concern may be, if you're 65, if you're a baby boomer, your main concern might be Social Security, veterans benefits, living out a peaceful old age. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's like your core.
Right.
Think about it. At the end of the day, you have your core individual beliefs, and you have your social beliefs with the people that are around you that you grow with. Like I said, as a business owner, of course I want good tax breaks. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If I make $1 million, I ain't trying to give up a third of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know who's people who might not ever be in a position to ever make that kind of money, right? And they may need more help than I do. So do I have to say I'll take the hit for the better good of everybody? You know what I'm saying? Because even a personal belief I have, whether you're red or blue, right, is that there's a group of people have to get screwed over to really fix it all because we spend too much time putting band-aids on everything and never actually addressing the problem. Like you said, we never address the problem.
And that's true. I mean, that is so powerful and so true at the end of the day. And this applies for relationships too. Somewhere, somehow, some way, someone is going to suffer for everything to get back to a healthy state. It's like a surgery. That's going to hurt. I've had surgery. That sucker hurts. But it also hurt for me to not get the surgery and deal with the infection that I had. So I had to go through that pain to actually begin the process of healing. And that's true as a nation. It's true as a relationship. Cedric asked a question on Facebook. This is great. He said, what if you are a Democrat and your spouse is a Republican? Are you guys unequally, well, he said y'all. Are y'all unequally yoked?
I think it depends on, so it kind of depends on, do you understand really, like to say, what's God is God, what's Caesar is Caesar's? Because at a fundamental level, you want to help people. Republican or Democrat, you want to help people. You know what I'm saying? At a fundamental level, you don't want certain things to happen. Right, you know what I'm saying? At a fundamental level, you work hard and you want to, like I say, make sure you're not taxed too much to where it affects how you take care of your family. That's a fundamental thing, whether if you're bipartisan or not, you know what I'm saying, whether you're red or blue, right? So So I don't think that matters. What happens is we get concerned about caught up in the details, like how was it actually addressed? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, granted, I don't care if you're red or blue. I'm pretty sure you don't want a man dressed as a woman that could be a threat in the bedroom with your daughter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then again, you don't think about a threat of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if you had gay children, right? And how they're going to be affected by that. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at it from, that's when you go outside your personal fundamentals as a saying than where self-individual. You know what I'm saying? Like people, the people who make the laws aren't really making laws for themselves. They make laws for everybody else until that law has to affect them.
So if I'm hearing you correctly to answer that question, you're not necessarily unequally yoked if you're a diehard Democrat and your spouse is a Republican, unless it causes a conflict with your core fundamental beliefs.
Right.
If there's a clash with your core fundamental beliefs. And you know, also, if you don't know how to separate that, you know, I said in the write-up, just like the country has tried unsuccessfully to separate church from state.
Right.
I mean, that's really not possible because religion is too big a part of our country. You can't separate that from politics altogether. And I think it's the same way in a relationship. Can you really separate love from politics? If you're really, really into politics and you really, really are a diehard Republican or a diehard Democrat because of your fundamental beliefs, you probably can't separate that.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So here's a good example. So let's say whether you're a Christian or there's different denominations of Christianity, right? Mm-hmm. So it's how you worship God, basically, right? When it comes to like the dogma with different denominations. So when you become president, right, you know, by law, you have to represent everybody. So let's say you're a Christian and you become president. There's a certain way that you practice how you worship God that you can't really practice at a presidential level because you have to represent everybody. And a lot of people aren't even aware of that. I learned that like about 7-8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like think about it, the president who probably grew up in a Baptist church or a Methodist church or a Lutheran church, right? Presidential level, you go to a non-denominational. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And from a fundamental standpoint, you go, well, wait a minute, you switch to that, I probably shouldn't have voted for you in the first place because now your fundamentals are this. And you see how that stopped becoming a problem? You know what I'm saying? So there's a degree where there's a reason why they have separation of church and state, but then there's a certain fundamental where it could be a problem outside your core that you run away. And that goes back, like I said, in a relationship. If I'm a hardcore Democrat and my wife is or my girlfriend's a hardcore Republican, you know, at a certain degree, we're gonna like 80% of it. We shouldn't vote. I say 80 to 9%. You should really probably be the same. There's gonna be a 10% difference. That I don't think that won't be a problem. But if it's like 50-50, like, hey, I'm not moving on this, you're probably not equally yoked.
Somebody on Facebook, Bonita Buffkin, my darling, she's listening all the way from Alaska. Hey, but she said,
can't get around that.
She said it's about love and respect for each other, and love is an equalizer. Love is the equalizer.
I believe that.
And I would definitely have to agree with that. I don't see how political views should come in between you and somebody you love, whether it's a friend or, you know, if you're couples, you know, if you love your church. Those political views really need to be covered. The Bible says love covers a multitude of sins.
Right.
So if you see that as a flaw, another version of it says covers one's faults.
Right.
If you see that as a fault or a flaw that somebody you love is on the other side of the political arena, love should be able to cover that. It shouldn't be so much of an issue that it supersedes or usurps the love that you have for one another, that you could actually separate or even fight and argue and get into heated debates over it.
And I think the hard thing is I don't think a lot of people have and I don't say every, I think a lot of people don't have a fundamental principle. They have a bunch of beliefs. And then when I say principle versus belief, you know, belief is something you can be told and thinking this is the right way to a certain degree. But a principle is like, which is hard to get. I mean, it's really hard to get like a principle that, hey, you know, it makes you stand tall. That you no matter what happens, you stand firm in it. You believe it comes from God. You know what I'm saying? And that no matter what, I can stand on these. And I may rebuke you, but it's out of love, and it may be a criticism, but it's not a judgment. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You can do that from a principle standpoint, but if you're not careful with how your principles built, your beliefs can have you going, well, you know, I don't really know. Then your opinion slip in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get away from the universal truth. That's what I'm.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the arrogance, because when it comes down to you trying to shove your opinion down the other person's throat, and you getting into a spirit of offense because they will not agree with your opinion, that is arrogance, you know. And I'm going back to your friend walking away from you like that. You know, that is beyond a belief. Okay, that's not a principle. That's not a belief. She had a strong opinion, because love doesn't express itself that way.
Right.
Love does not express itself. If anything, love draws closer. I mean, what did the Bible say? Where sin abounds and grace much more abound.
Right.
So if anything, love is going to draw closer to you, and your faults and your weaknesses, it's not going to draw away from you. And so that is like the ultimate display of arrogance and pride, when somebody is trying to force their opinion on you and then becoming offended because you don't agree with that opinion. I'm sorry, you're going to have to check yourself. Hashtag no socks.
Right, hashtag no socks. Wiggle them toes, baby, wiggle them toes. You know, and I want to share this with you. So, like, you know, there's a couple places like in Mark and Matthew, when Jesus like went to go visit his hometown, right? And you know, he was like, you know, he's there to heal people, and they was like, ain't you the son of Mary, and ain't these, you know, your brothers Joseph and James, and you know, and your sisters are this, whatever, right? And he was like, you know, many will listen to the prophet, but the people from his own place. I'm kind of paraphrasing, so I'm telling the story.
Right.
I may be the scripture wrong, but and he talked about, like, you know, people respect the prophet when he comes, but then like, but where he's from, they don't want to hear him. So he only healed like a few people, and he didn't make a big sting about it. You know what I'm saying? He just went on somewhere. He healed who he could heal, and it went on somewhere else. And everywhere else he did more miraculous things. So, but he never stopped loving them because they didn't want to accept him and believe in him. So, you know, you deal with that too. So if you sit back and say, hey, I'm a Christian, or I follow God, or I follow Christ's principles, I mean, that's kind of one of them. Regardless if you disagree with a person, you know what I'm saying? You still have to have love for them to, you know, and let's say the person they made a bad choice. You know what I'm saying? We live in a society where, hey, your past is never really behind you. The politics, they bring it, oh, she used to be like this, and he used to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like good example. Do I think Trump's a racist? I don't know. Do I think he's an a-hole? Obviously I do. You know what I'm saying? Do I think everybody that voted for him is a racist? No. I think a lot of people who probably voted for him was racist because they don't know the principles and how everything actually works. You know what I'm saying? And some people, outside of his foolishness, probably got so sick and tired of like what Hillary brought to the table. They just say, you know what? Just like black people, and you know, I'm trying to get into like a racial thing. Like all the black people kind of rallied behind Obama, right? There's a bunch of people rallying around Trump because they got tired of like how things were getting done. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, those white people voted for Obama, right? So they got tired of how things were done, and they voted for him again. So you dealing with that. So.
Right. So what do we got on here? So we talked about.
Your checklist is so long, but I love it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I love to inform people. One of the things I say about the show is come to get entertained, but leave informed.
Already.
So, you know, if we're going to talk about why when politics trump your relationship, I really want to get down to some of the core reasons that this impacts your relationships, because it has a lot more to do with other things than it does politics. And some of it is really about the politics.
Yeah.
And some of it is really about other things that are going on, like we talked about the arrogance and the fundamental beliefs, foundational issues. So those things are important, you know. And another thing that ends up happening when you can just be so dismissive toward an important relationship You know, sometimes it's just an apathy. You know, and apathy is a type of almost disdainful laziness. That's my personal definition for apathy. It's a disdainful laziness where you due to some underlying resentment or ungratefulness or taking someone or something for granted, that you put not only physical but emotional or intellectual energy into preserving, protecting, and honoring something. And I think sometimes we are very apathetic toward our relationships, our marriages, our friendships, our churches. We don't value the connection. We don't value the worth of intimacy and what it really means. You know, what did it really mean when the creator of the universe created everything, and about everything he created, he said, it is good, 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 it is good. And all of a sudden he said, it is not good. He said, it is not good for man to be alone. It's the first time that we actually heard him have a negative response to something that he had created. He said, this is not good. And so that says so much to me about how Yahweh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, creator of all things, values relationships. This is a God that values relationships. Look how many times the children, his bride, you know, his wife, the children of Israel betrayed him, turned away. You're talking about some conflicting political views. They had some different views than the God that they serve, but he continued to chase after them. He continued to constantly pursue reconciliation. There is nothing apathetic about the way God loves us. His love is energized. It is passionate. He's constantly pursuing us. He's constantly after us. He's constantly making sacrifices to establish and to protect the love and the relationship with us. We have been given the ministry of reconciliation. He is the God of reconciliation. And so I really think, you know, some of these breaking of friendships over politics and over other insignificant, unimportant things is really a lack of the God nature operating in us.
So check this out. So recently, like on our show last week, no, just 2 weeks ago, so we did a show about, you know, what's important, right? So there's a story in the Bible, right, where Jesus and the disciples went to go visit these sisters, Mary and Martha, right? And so Martha was in the room. She in the back, she's cooking, right? You know what I'm saying? Getting the dinner ready, preparing for them to eat. And she goes, Jesus, you know, don't you think it's fair that, you know, Mary's not helping me, you know, prepare this dinner? And he was like, you're so caught up in the details, you're missing what's important. And she's sitting here getting what's important. You know what I'm saying? So the fact she's so caught up in, you know, her own little world, her own little bubble, she's losing sight of like what's going to help you move forward in life. You know what I'm saying? We're so caught up in like who the president's going to be, because it doesn't matter. Like whoever he is, he's going to make decisions that's going to affect millions of people, right? But it's like like said, when like a Bishop McCall in, at a local level, we affect that, and we lose sight of what we can actually affect by the ability God gives us. You know what I'm saying? So, and it breaks a relationship. Think about it. You said like loving somebody, like, you know, relationship. You can control that. What you do for them, you can control that. The outside entities, being in the office and all kind of stuff, you can't do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? You can use what God gave you to either pull yourself up, pull the other people up. You know what I'm saying? And change and see what's important. So.
Wow. Well, we're going to go to a quick song break.
Cool, because I want a cookie.
Yeah, I need a fruit snack. I need
a cookie.
I can't be chomping over the mic. What do I want to hear? Let's hear, you know what, let's listen to Hezekiah Walker, I Need You to Survive. I know that's old, but you know, we're talking about the importance of relationships right now. We need each other to survive. Don't you agree,
We need each other. We do.
God said it's not good for man to be alone. He said that.
There's plenty of examples when everybody needs. Look, Moses needed Aaron. Jesus needed the disciples. David had his mighty 30 and his top 3 out of that. You know what I'm saying? Joseph had the baker who told Pharaoh, "Hey, I got this dude that's locked up that can help you out," and he saved them from famine. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have somebody. God even needs us, so we can. So he, so he loves us.
That's
so
powerful.
everybody needs somebody. Even the Almighty needs somebody.
That's right. I love that. Again, Mike Murdoch on the way here, he was talking about people who are homeless. And he said homelessness is not really a money issue. Homelessness is a relationship issue.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you can be on this earth for a certain number of decades and not have at least one friend that would take you in off in the streets. And I was like, wow, that's deep.
Hey, for real.
That's deep.
At least they can stay long enough to figure it out.
right. But this is Dr. Intimacy. You're listening to Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio with my special guest, TK of One Kingdom Radio.
Yeah.
He's doing an awesome job. We're having naked discussions about love, life, and intimacy. # no socks. When politics trump your relationship. Join the discussion if you want to. 214-431-5062. 214-431-5062. The lines are open. Did you have some kind of relationship break or strain over the election? We want to hear about it. Call in and talk to us about it. You can also catch us on the live Facebook feed. If you're not listening to it, you can make comments on the live feed. So join our naked discussion. Just make sure you come with no socks. This is Dr. Intimacy. We'll be right back after this break.
You know what I would love to see?
What?
Somebody called and said they walked away from somebody because Trump won. Or I walked away from somebody because they didn't want Trump to win.
Let's see.
I would love to see somebody.
I'm gonna post that on my Facebook.
Hey, yo, check this out, Facebook. My listeners, check this out. I want to know, did anybody walk away from somebody because Trump got elected? Or did you walk away from somebody because they voted for Hillary? I would love that somebody call in. We can't see you, so you ain't got to say your name, so we ain't going to put you on blast. But I would love that somebody admit that. You know what I'm saying? I would really love to hear somebody admit that. I walked away from somebody because you voted for Trump. So you can call in at 214-431-5062. I should know that because I just did the show. I should have that memorized, but so call in 214-431-5062 and let us know. Tell us what you think. I'll be right back. I gotta go get a cookie.
He's just hogging the camera over there. I mean, this is my show.
I don't have no stand.
You know, he could have at least shown my face. Oh, look,
I did show your face when we first started.
I'm talking about. He talking about he did show my face. What, for 20 seconds in the beginning? Look at this face. Wouldn't you rather be looking at my face than his? I'm just saying.
I would.
Thank you guys for tuning in, though. Thank you.
I had to post it. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Jay Revival from Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio. We're in the studio. Listen, if you walked away from someone because Trump won, we want to hear.
Hey, Peter.
We want to hear from you. We're not
Dawson, you want to call in,
we
man?
just want to hear from you.
214-431-5062.
Whether you was rooting for Hillary or you was rooting for Trump, just call in. 214-431-5062. Please, this is that. We want to hear it.
Admit that you walked away from somebody.
Yeah.
Admit that you walked away from somebody because they voted for Trump or they did vote for Trump.
Yes. There you go.
I would love to see somebody admit that. I walked away from him.
Come with that country voice
The country going to hell in a handbasket. And he contributed to that. Well, I'm having a good time.
Mini Vegas like that.
Well, I always do.
I'm gonna get a cookie, man. I'm gonna kind of get it. I'm gonna get it.
Read that sweet tooth.
Trying to find this lady, see if she'll call in. She said a number of people walked away from her. She got blocked and all kinds of stuff happened to her.
Nobody walked away from me, but they are a friend of me. I won't know anyway, so.
Oh yeah, one of my friends, actually one of my customers from Cons. she actually had several people walk away from her. She said, so I'm gonna message her. Hey, Betty, call in.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Would love for you to share your experience about walking away over the years. That's a question.
Hezekiah Walker be doing many concerts. Yeah.
I leave my charger because my phone about to die. But it is dying.
I can't find it.
Oh well.
All right.
Everybody was like, I had some people inbox, but TK, man, I love what y'all doing. That show was awesome. That show was awesome.
That was awesome.
All right, let's get back on it.
This is a good show.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
Really enjoying it.
Are you ready? Or you want beat go up?
No.
Here we go.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Intimacy. I Need You to Survive by Hezekiah Walker. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. We need each other, and that's why our topic tonight on Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio is when politics trump your relationships. And we're really talking about the value of relationships and the different things that we allow to interfere with or supersede that value. And I have really been enjoying this naked discussion about love, life, and intimacy with my special guest TK, host of One Kingdom Radio.
Yo.
Just real quickly, tell people how they can plug into your show, One King. Just that one, TK, because we'll be here all night.
Keep it simple. Go to onekingdomradio.com. That's the number one, kingdomradio.com. You click on Listen Now. You click on any of your favorite shows. So if you want to listen to your boy TK on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9, you just go to Listen Now and you click on Straight Talk. We tell you what it is. From a biblical view, of course.
Alright. So, and his show comes on actually, the one that I'm familiar with comes on right before our show right here on the same station.
We've had some of your guests call us some early.
Yeah.
Dr. Intimacy. Y'all talking about this today? I'm like, it's not kingdom related? Probably not.
Hey, all of my shows are kingdom related. What you talking about?
No, I had somebody call in and say, are we talking about, he said, I'm a pimp from Chicago. I go, yeah.
No way.
We had to hang him up. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, I've had some crazies call in. We've had people call in and cuss and talk about crazy sex stuff. I'm like, hey, this is not that type of show.
Right?
You think that's bad, though. You should see some of the messages I get on Facebook.
Oh, I can imagine. You're a woman, I can imagine.
In my private inbox, like, what?
You're a woman, I can
imagine. Is that a picture of you?
Yeah, I can imagine you're a woman.
But anyway, you know, this discussion is so powerful, and it's really, really important that we have these type of dialogues, especially, you know, as believers. It's important, period, across the board, but I think it's even more significant as representatives of the kingdom.
Right.
That we value relationships, that we honor relationships, that we cherish them, that we really are a representation or an extension of the love, the mercy, the compassion, and the grace that we receive from the Father, that we've received from the Son. You know, and at the end of the day, love is about sacrifice. God so loved the world that he gave. And sometimes you might have to sacrifice your political view. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your opinion. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your voice. You know, you have to sacrifice saying something that you think you should be able to say. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, you know, feeling comfortable around somebody. So work through that moment. And, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about, you know, it's not always easy being transparent and hashtag no socks with thousands of people listening to you. But in the situation, and I think it's helpful, and that's why I'm open about things that are going on. But like in the situation with my friend, I think about it was within a week. This person called me. We saw each other again. Treated me to lunch. I guess it was kind of a peace offering, which was nice. But it's somebody that I speak to every day. It's not like a casual friend, like we catch each other on the by. Somebody that I speak to several times a day. We see each other 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week.
Right.
This is like my close bestie, you know, heartbeat friend.
Right.
That I didn't speak to for almost a week because they needed time to process the election. I'm like,
yeah, like people weren't going to college class because
I was
Trump
like,
won. I'm like, if you don't pull your head out of your...
and you know what that made me think about? So in my situation, it was a little different than yours. She just like straight up abandoned you and wanted nothing else to do with you.
She literally jumped up and said, the country going to hell in a handbasket, and walked. I said, we're not going to dinner. And she said, no, we ain't going. She left. And then I called the next day, and that just flabbergasted me.
Wow. So our last interaction before the disruption of our relationship was very similar. There was like a real heated debate over me casting my vote. We just got into this real hot debate over it. And then the next thing you know, I haven't spoken to you for almost a week now, when we usually speak 2 or 3 times a day. So when I saw him on Sunday, I was like, I really need you to explain to me where you were, like what was going on. And he said, well, it really didn't have anything to do with you. I'm like, but it had everything to do with me.
Right.
It impacted me. You know, we got in an argument, and the next thing you know, I'm not speaking to you anymore. You're talking about you need time to process. Like, process what? And you know what it made me think about? Not putting him on blast or anything, but what it really made me think about is the lack of regard that we have for how important relationships were, how insensitive we are sometimes to other people's feelings. That really hurt me.